I did the piece on First Amendment auditors, and I've gotten a fair bit of feedback. A couple emails, and wow, you guys really shouldn't use that language. It hurts your position. And frankly, if you can't spell motherfucker properly, you probably don't need to be writing that. I'm sorry, but there's a line. I don't mind being called a motherfucker, but spell it right. That's all. You know who you are. My name is Patrick Nolan. I'm an attorney licensed in the state of Missouri. This is Pat Talks Law. So I put a dash cam in my car. Dash cams are fascinating pieces of equipment. I can record what's going on outside my car while I'm driving, and with this thing going on the inside, I can record what's happening on the inside, which is good, unless I get into an accident. If I get into an accident, this video I have becomes evidence. Because it's evidence, if it shows something bad for me, I can't delete it. I've got to save it. If it shows something good for me, you bet your ass I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to save it. But, so the dash cam I have in my car records audio in the car. And that is freaking hilarious. My car has been in the shop for a month. I'm finally back in my electric. I've got a Chevy Bolt. The Bolt itself had a recall on the battery. So it went in to have the battery replaced. While it was in and the battery was replaced, you know, one of the things they did, they had to run the battery down to test it. So they sent somebody out driving. This guy's out driving, running the battery down, and he's talking to himself the whole time. I went back and I watched some of the videos while the car was in the shop, and man, he was talking to himself the entire time he was driving that car. Woo. The dash cam is in plain sight, but people forget about cameras after a little while. If you're not being an asshole and the camera is just there, people will forget about it and they'll settle down. You know, that used to happen all the time when I was a reporter. Once they get past the idea that the camera's there, they forget, and you get some great photos. And that's one of the keys. As a reporter, photographer, you don't want to be the story. Okay? Your presence isn't the story. The First Amendment auditors, they have a problem with becoming the story. They want to be the story. And that's one of the issues, and that's why they have some of the issues they do. There is, unfortunately, all too frequently, someone that is willing to entertain that and help them become the story. Some of the best First Amendment audits I saw were the ones that nobody watches in Idaho. Because the folks in Idaho were like, yeah, okay, hey, photograph away, Sparky, have a nice day. They didn't get any opposition and they left. Who knew? If you take away their fun, they stop playing with their toys. It's like my kids. So, but the essence of not being the news, not being the story, is a very important one. That is what you're going for as a photographer. That's what you're going for as a reporter. You don't want to change the story by showing up, and you'll bend over backwards to avoid that. People will initially act different around a camera. If you ever get a chance, Walker Evans photos of Depression era South, are phenomenal. Let us now praise famous men. Okay, he would set the camera up and wait. Just wait. Wait for the people to settle down. Wait for them to stop posing. Wait for them to stop, you know, the artificial smiles and capture them. It's phenomenal. I would strongly recommend it. If you have any interest in visual media, and you probably do if you're watching visual media, but Walker Evans, Let Us Now Praise Famous Men. Phenomenal. One of the best things I was exposed to as a journalism student. When it comes to the First Amendment auditors, and I'm going to pick on this, so they call it freedom, the Chickenman. He goes by the name the Chickenman. I don't think that's a handle I would pick for myself, but that's the one he uses. He had his channel taken down after he harassed his poor janitor to the point that the guy was in tears and attempted to quit his job. And what people are upset about right now is that they believe that YouTube censored him by taking his channel down. Yes, they did. YouTube said that is not acceptable for us. We are not going to tolerate that. And YouTube is 100% right to do that because it's their terms of service, it's their platform. The concern, though, is, and I want to clarify this, censorship is not always a bad thing or even illegal. Prior restraint, when you have a state-sponsored censorship, prior restraint is. And this is a fine line. When we're talking about the First Amendment auditors, if the police are removing somebody because of the content that they're filming, or, you know, that they are the ones filming it, then you're running into prior restraint issues, and quite frankly, you know, that may well be actionable under federal law. That the other criteria meet, it's a public place, photographer had a right to be there, had a right to see and photograph what he was able to see and photograph. And, you know, every case is different and there's a lot that goes into an analysis. But the essence of it is, if you're in a public place or you've got a right to be, where the public has a right to be, you've got a right to film. Now, there are some caveats. I mean, public access on private property is one of those caveats. If the mall says you can't film in the mall, you can't film in the fucking mall. But if you're standing on the street corner outside, you can film. If you're in the parking lot of the mall, you know, that's more of a questionable spot, but yeah, you're going to be able to film, and you're going to be able to get away with it. And frankly, if they made a deal about it, all they'd probably do then is trespass you, and you wouldn't be able to be in the mall's parking lot to film. Or you would go to jail for trespass. That isn't prior restraint, that's trespass. And that's what gets a lot of the auditors into trouble, is they cross the line in the wrong spot. Okay? As far as YouTube with So They Call It Freedom, by the way, he has another channel up now, it's called Hate the State, which really is more accurate. He's not really a First Amendment auditor, he's an agent provocateur. And that's his thing, man. Okay, cool. So God bless. But what he's doing is a form of activism. For activism to get traction, he's got to get people to watch him, and he's going to have to prompt the state into taking action so that he can say, see, I'm a victim. Kind of like what happened with YouTube. Took his channel down. He decried the fact that he lost 20-some-odd thousand subscribers in the process. They're coming back to him pretty quickly. But the Chickenman is just that. He's a coward with a camera. When it comes right down to it, he's a coward with a camera. He's an asshole. the Chickenman, his new channel, Hate the State, is a more accurate reflection of his actions than So They Call It Freedom. He's got a problem with his county. Okay, great. You know what? God bless. Go activism, protest, have at it, man. That is your right as an American. And I support that fully. What he did with the janitor, that was harassment. I could see if that happened in one of the counties I cover, Northeast Missouri, there probably would have been charges. So, regarding YouTube taking this channel down, yes, it is a censorship, but it is their right to censor that on their platform. Freedom of the press, freedom of speech, belongs to the person who owns the press, or the person who's making the speech. We want to protect freedom of speech. The answer to unpopular speech, the answer to offensive speech, isn't to ban it or shut it down. It's more speech. I want to see them. I want to know who that person is. You know, for example, here in Missouri, on the very road I'm driving, there's a house, I use the term loosely. There's a ratty ass old trailer that's got a worn out Confederate battle flag hanging on a pole in front of it. You know, that's good. I'm glad it's there. I'm happy to see it. It tells me who those people are. I mean, they're flying the flag and telling us. I don't need to talk to them to know who they are. I know. I would never want to force them to take their flag down. If they did, I'd have to interact with them for some time to learn who they are. I already know now. So, the same thing applies to speech. So They Call It Freedom, the Chickenman, you know, we know who he is based on the videos he's produced. He's a hurt guy. He's got somebody wronged him, and he doesn't know how to react to that. He doesn't know how to respond. I feel for the guy. I do. But I don't support him. I'll protect his right to produce his content. I will protect his right to protest. But I don't agree with what he has to say. And that's what we're talking about. The key to offensive speech is more speech. The response to speech that is inappropriate, like Chickenman's, is my speech saying he was wrong. You want to protest? God bless. I'm happy to do it. The county is doing stuff wrong, call attention to it. The state is doing something wrong, call attention to it. Protest. It's not just your right, it's your duty as an American citizen. Awesome. How you do that? Well, that's not as easy of a discussion.